remember when I found out about chemistry. It was a long, long way from here.
Hello, today we're going to tell you everything you need to know about ethers.
An ether is an organic compound composed of two alkyl groups composed to an oxygen. The general formula for an ether is R bonded to O bonded to R, where these two are identical. Now, ethers also have a second general formula because both alkyl groups don't have to be identical, so it could be R, O, and then R prime, showing that there's two different alkyl groups.
An example of an ether is methoxyethane. This is an example where both the alkyl groups are different. To name this compound, you would take the name of the smaller alkyl group, in this case methane, because it has less carbons than ethane, drop the corresponding A and E ending, and add oxy. And then you take the name of the second alkyl group, the larger alkyl group, and add it to the end of the name. This gives us methoxyethane.
Here's an example of how an ether is created. It's a condensation reaction when two alcohols react. The OH from one alcohol takes the H from the other alcohol, forming water, and then the one alkyl group bonds to the oxygen, which is already bonded to the second alkyl group, and that creates the ether, as you can see by the general formula, R, O, R prime. An example of a reaction that uses an ether in its reactants is a combustion reaction. So let's take methoxyethane. And then react it with oxygen. And just like any combustion reaction, the products are always going to be CO2 and H2O.
Here are some properties that you will need to know about ethers. Since ethers don't contain OH groups, they do not make hydrogen bonds to themselves like alcohols would. However, the two lone pairs in the oxygen atom create a V shape within the ether, making it more polar than hydrocarbons. The intermolecular forces between ether molecules are stronger than those in hydrocarbons and weaker than those in alcohols. Ethers are good solvents for organic reactions because they mix with polar and nonpolar substances. This is because their CO bonds make them more polar than hydrocarbons, thus making them more miscible with polar substances. Meanwhile, their alkyl groups allow them to also mix with nonpolar groups. The melting points and boiling points of an ether are slightly higher than those of hydrocarbons, but lower than those of alcohols. The single covalent CO bonds are difficult to break, making ethers quite unreactive. Did you know that ethers used to be very commonly used as an anesthesia, aka to put someone out during a medical procedure?
I remember